The Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History, in partnership with the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau, is pleased to present the past, present, and future of the civil rights movement in Augusta, Georgia.
Life was going on as it normally goes on before the riot. As far as I am concerned, I was having my normal day. I lived off the Gwinnett Street area, which is now Laney Walker Boulevard. I went down to the courthouse because there was a gathering down there that had to do with the Oatman boy's death. So I was curious, as usual, as to see what's going on here. And so I had gone down to see quite a crowd had gathered to find out what was going on, and the crowd was becoming more and more angry. So I had come back home, back out to my house, off Laney Walker now, and before I knew it, people were throwing rocks and things. As Caucasians passed through the area, leaving from downtown, folks were very angry about this child's death, that nobody knew why. And that was just a boil over. And things continued to get heated. And before you knew it, lots of crowd had gathered, and I was standing out waving, "Don't come, go back, go back, go back." And the crowd gathered and kind of ended up on Laney Walker, angry, tearing down things, and they tore down the red and white grocery store, and the looting and rioting started with that. In my mind, I've always been an activist. Activist is a word that has been created, and it names people who do things, and then once they get notoriety, they become quote unquote an activist. I've always taken part in my community from a child. So it was just doing, like I said, I was standing out telling people to go back, don't come this way. You're coming into a dangerous area now. You know, you're not welcome right now. And so as far as being an activist, I wouldn't have called myself an activist. I would have called myself a concerned citizen, being involved in her community. In my everyday life, I wouldn't say I noticed any tensions. We lived in our black and white neighborhoods and continued with our black and white life. The Civil Rights Act had passed. We're 5 years past that. So the change that's about to become, or that's becoming a reality, is probably happening. We started to integrate. I was working at the hospital when integration occurred, and one of the incidents was, and he's deceased now, a very famous surgeon, came in to visit one of the Caucasian female patients, and she had him to come down to whisper, "I don't want her in my room." It was a black and white lady. He says, "If you want to have the surgery, this is the room, or you may leave." So integration had come, and people weren't sure what that was going to be like. And I'm sure the power structure didn't know what it was going to be like. So sure, I'm sure there were some underlying tensions. During that time and in early times, the church has always played a very large role in the black community as far as its health is concerned. And I don't mean like health, physical health. Our well-being kind of revolved around the church. All of our information basically came through the church. And so with voting rights and issues of that sort, I don't recall and remember that voting rights was an issue. We knew that we could vote, but getting people to understand the importance of voting was still the issue. Poverty, jobs, the same identical things that you hear politicians say today, was the first thing that part of their platform is going to create jobs. So naturally, in the black community at that time, poverty was an issue. Housing, getting the benefits of your taxes that you were paying was an issue. So you have to educate your public to let them know that you have a right. You're talking about voting rights, but you have a right to voice your opinion and demand what is yours based on the fact that you are a tax-paying citizen. So at that time, as I said, church was very important. So a lot of information that we received would have come through preachers. The one thing that existed at that time, and some of us still talk about it, no matter what the issue was that affected us as a people, if we heard it in church, it didn't matter whether I was in North Augusta, South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the way to the coast. There was one central message. And how it got to us, I haven't a clue. but we all knew it and we would all respond to it. That kind of messaging is not present today. You have, following the civil rights movement and desegregation, you have a right to enjoy the benefits of America, and we have. So you have there's much talk about white flight, but there was no talk about black flight. So the strength that was in black communities at the time that I grew up and during the time of the 70s no longer exists in the quote-unquote black community. If you were to ask me, where is the black community, or what is identified as the black community now in Augusta, Georgia, I would all have to pause and think where that is since integration.
For more information about our Black heritage and to see our interactive map on Black history locations in Augusta, Georgia, visit our website, LucyCraftLaneyMuseum.com.